All right, I'm just going to talk through the solution to each one of these problems to give you a start in case you're not sure how to begin with these. All right, so let's take a look at problem 1. Mrs. Hardy spent 2/3 of her money on fabric. We know that she spent $456 on fabric. How much money did she have before buying her fabric? So there are a couple of key words here. So she spent 2/3 of her money on fabric. And then it asked, how much money did she have? So there's my variable right there. And we know that she spent 2/3 of that money, and we know what she spent. So we know that 2/3 of her money is equal to 456, where D, and this is what define a variable means, D is money. All right, now part B says what solution would make your equation true. So I'm going to take you through the steps of solving this. So I'm going to do this in 2 steps. I'm first going to undo the 3. The 3 is division, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. Those are going to cancel out. So I'm going to be left with 2D on the left-hand side and 3 times 456 on the right-hand side. I'm going to see if I can do this in my head. 3 times 6 is 18, 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16, and 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. I'm hoping that's correct. And then I need to get the D by itself, so I need to undo by dividing by 2. So my final answer is D equal to 1,368 divided by 2, which must be, let's see, 650 and 34, 684, I believe, is what the answer is, and that's $684. So that's what she started out with. She spent 2/3 of this amount, so she actually spent 456. All right, let's take a look at number 2. Very similar problem. Cage went on a trip to Six Flags. He rode exactly 3/8 of all the rides at the park. He rode exactly 30 rides at the park. How many rides are there in all? Okay, we have some keywords once again. So 3/5 of all the rides in the park. That of is multiplication. So we know that 3/5 of all the rides is equal to exactly 30. And R is equal to rides. So now we have to solve this, and we're going to use the same, let's erase that. I'm going to use the shorthand technique for this one. So we have 3/5 R equals 30, and this time I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply by 5/3, multiply by 5/3 on this side to balance it. So we have a 5 on top and a 5 on the bottom that cancel. 3 on the bottom, 3 on the top that cancel. So we're just left with R on the left-hand side. And we're multiplying over here, so we multiply the tops, right, and the bottoms. So that's going to give us 30 times 5 is 150 over 1 times 3, which is 3. And then my final answer is 50 rides. So Cage rode 3/5 of 50 rides, which means he rode 30 rides. All right, moving on to the next problem. Let's read this one. Gerald has some files on his flash drive. He accidentally deleted 15. Deleted is an important word. After the files were accidentally deleted, he only had 43 left. How many files did he have before he deleted some of them? Okay, so here are the steps to figure that out. Define a variable and write an equation. So he started out with some unknown, right? How many files did he have? We don't know that. But he started out with that many. Let's call that F. He deleted 15. Deleted is subtraction, right? He had a bunch, he lost 15, deleted them, and when he did that, he had 43 left. So F stands for files. And now we need the solution, and we have to do it algebraically, so I'm going to write my equation again. And I need to undo that minus 15, so I have to do a plus 15 and a plus 15, and I'm going to get F equal to 58, and that's 58 files. So what does the solution mean in the context of the problem? So here's a starter. The solution that I found represents the number of files before he deleted. Keep it simple. Right, the starting number of files. All right, let's take a look at number 4. We have a multiple choice question here. Rady is selling fish at a rate of $6 per pound. He needs to earn at least $92. Ooh, at least. That's important. Which inequality represents the given situation? Okay, so at least we know that that represents greater than or equal to. You have to have that memorized. So, let's see. We don't know how many pounds he sold, so we have a variable, and the variable has to have the greater than or equal to in it, so the answer has to be D, because it's at least 92, so it's greater than or equal to 92. All right, real quickly, number 5. Duarte is collecting care cash. He needs 17 more care caches before he will have more than 100. There's another key word. More than 100. More than is greater than. So our inequality has to have greater than 100 in it. And we know that he had some amount to start off with, but we don't know how much. And 17 more means he needs 17 more in addition to what he had to give him greater than, more than 100. And it looks like that answer is C. Again, the real key is making sure you identify that inequality symbol, the correct one, to make sure you can find the right answer. All right, go ahead and turn to the next page, please. All right, let's take a look at number 6. Reading along. Yair had a goal of earning at least $75 in the stock market. Okay, once again, there's a key term. At least we know corresponds to greater than or equal to. So far he has $42.16 worth of profit. So that's our starting point. How much profit would he need to earn in order to make his goal of $75? So as soon as you see a question, you know what our variable is. Now, of course, they're using M in here, not P. So I'll delete that, and let's put M instead. So let's find the inequality that matches this statement. So he has 4216 to start off with, and he's adding to that how much more he needs, because we're trying to get up to 75, at least 75. So first of all, we need a greater than or equal. And then, is this a subtraction or an addition? Well, he's starting off with something, he's trying to get up to something, so he's going to have to add that additional money. So the answer is this. Now, part B is circle the numbers below that could be solutions to the inequality. Well, you know how to find the solution to this inequality. So let's do that. I'll do that off to the side here. Oh no, I'll do it right below it. So if I'm solving this, I need to undo the 4216, so I need to subtract 4216 from both sides. And that's going to give me the M on the left-hand side, greater than or equal to 75 minus 4216 is 3284, I think. All right. Again, you'll have a calculator to do this. So I'm going to circle those numbers that are greater than or equal to 3284. So of course that's this one and this one and that one. But I do want you to answer a question here. Explain your reasoning. So I know the numbers I circled could be solutions because when I solved the equation, I found that M had to be greater than or equal to 3284. Because when I solved, and we can just leave it at that, I found that M had to be greater than 3284. All right, they're going to come number 7. Murphy has collected 18 dog treats and hidden them under the bed. Murphy wants to collect no more than 35 dog treats by the end of the month. Okay, no more. We know that that corresponds to less than or equal. Again, you have to memorize that. So we know that he is starting with 18. He's going to collect more, but he has to end up with no more than 35, right? But he's adding to his collection. So we need to make sure we have a less than or equal to, and we need to make sure we have 18 plus M on that side, and that's going to give us this. No more than 35 is less than or equal to 35. Okay, circle the numbers below that could be solutions. And again, we're going to solve this. Let's do that over here. It gives me a little bit more space. 18 plus M is less than or equal to 35. And I'm going to subtract 18. Subtract 18. And that's going to give me M less than or equal to 35 minus 18, which I believe is 17. So I'm going to circle the numbers that are less than or equal to 17. So 17 is less than or equal to 17, and then all these numbers are below that. And again, how did I know these were solutions? When I solved, I found that m had to be less than or equal to 17. All right, one more page. Go ahead and turn to that, please. All right, all of these are one-step inequalities or equations to solve. Then you have to graph the solution. So let's take a look at these. These should be pretty quick. So in the first one, I am dividing by 4. So I have to multiply by 4 and multiply by 4. And when the 4's cancel, I get m less than or equal to 60. All right, so I'm going to mark one of these as 60. Less than or equal to means I have a closed circle. Less than means below. Below means I shade to the left. Okay, next one. T plus 9 is equal to 25. Okay, so we just have an equation here. This one's a little bit interesting. So I have to undo the 9. So it's plus 9, so I do the opposite, minus 9. Balance it on both sides. And then I get t equal to 16. Now we really haven't talked about graphing this solution, but this is actually really, really simple because we designate one of these marks as being 16, and I just have to put a big closed circle on 16, and I'm done when it's an equation because there's only one solution, and that's 16, so I put one dot. When you have an inequality, we have many numbers that are going to make that true. All right, the next one. Again, we have p minus 17 less than 40. We need to undo the 17. That's a minus 17, so I have to do plus 17 on both sides. So that's going to give me p less than 57. I'm going to let one of these marks be 57. It's just less than, not less than or equal to, so it has a closed circle. Less than means below, and below means you shade to the left. Something like that. And then last but not least, we have 6a less than or equal to 28.8. We have to undo the 6, which is being multiplied, so we have to divide both sides by 6. That leaves us with a less than or equal to, let's see if I can do this in my head, 6 into 28. That's going to give me 4 point, let's see, 6 times 4 is 24, 48. I believe that's going to be 4.8. So once again, I'm going to let one of these marks be 4.8. It's less than or equal to, so I'm going to put a big closed circle on it. And less than or equal to means below, so I shade to the left. All right, I hope that seeing me solve these problems is helpful to you. Let me know if you have any questions.